Okay, it's John Levison here. We're at Super League Triathlon, or should I say Super Tri. Let's get the branding correct. I've got Parker Spencer with us. So Parker, you're heading quite a key part of hopefully the future of American triathlon. So rather than me doing the intro, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yep, so I coach the program called Project Podium. We started that back in 2018, and it's a 10-year project going into the 2028 Olympics. The Olympics is in LA in the US, so we need to show up and make sure that we've got an athlete on the men's side on the podium. Yeah. Our women continue to do great things, and even we just watched Katie win her heat by 30 seconds. So she's a 2-time Olympic medalist. Now we need to do the same thing for the men. So we started this program back in 2018. The whole intention is to recruit young men that are some of our best triathletes, but also best single sport athletes in the US. So we have some of the best swim runners in the entire U.S. that are now joining our program and foregoing their NCAA swimming and running eligibility and then coming into Project Podium. And then that's why we've got an athlete here like Reese Vandersum. He broke the Texas 2-mile state record when he was in high school. And then he's been on the podium at Junior World Championships in triathlon. And then he was 6th last year at Junior Worlds. He just dropped his 5K time by about 40 seconds, and he's running around a 14-minute 5K now at 19 years old. So I like to say we definitely have the future of the sport, but I think that we have the now as well. I'm excited to see what the boys can do being able to compete at this level.
Yeah, well, we are as well, and I think you've probably been slightly modest in terms of what the men have done. Obviously, the US women, along with, I guess, the Brits and the French have been sort of sweeping all before them in volume terms. But, we did see you managed to get two guys to put together a fantastic mixed relay in Tokyo. Yeah. Still, I think, one of the best triathlons of any sort that I've ever seen. It was remarkable. But I guess you have that incentive of that home turf in Los Angeles. One of the things that we probably don't understand from a British perspective is just how massive college sport is in the States. So to be able to recruit some of these people into triathlon away from, in theory, bigger or higher profile sports, swimming and running, that's quite a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, U.S. culture is you go to high school, you get really good at a sport, so you get a full scholarship to go to the university. Typical university in the U.S. is about $25,000 a year. So to be able to have a scholarship and that's totally paid for. So for us to be able to do the same thing in triathlon and get these athletes that we have to play the same game. So all of our athletes have a full ride scholarship to Arizona State University. We pay for their housing. We pay for their trips to come to a place like this. They have everything paid for the life that they're in the program. And it's awesome. We've got 10 guys a part of the program now. Our next athlete that's coming in just ran the 12th fastest 2-mile time in the country. But then it's the 25th fastest of all time for a high schooler. So we're now recruiting some of the best runners that, like just pure runners that in the sport from high school perspective. But these kids can also bike and swim just as fast as they can run. So I think you're right. We have had a lot of success with guys like Morgan Pearson and Kevin McDowell. And what we want to do is just have a very robust pipeline, because when I was on the flight on the way over here, the older couple sitting next to me, when I said triathlon, they were like, "Oh, is Johnny and Alistair going to be there?" And if on my way home, when I'm going to sit next to some Americans, they couldn't name one person that does the sport. Yeah. So we see LA as our opportunity to build a fan base like you guys have here around triathlon.
Yeah. So do you think is for your younger guys, and you've got a lot of younger guys here. I think we've, just the top of my head, we've got Stillmacher, Vanneson, Middow, all youngsters in relative terms, in experience, to come to London, to come away from the States, to be part of this World Triathlon events. What are the sort of your key takeaways of what you want them to learn for their future development? Because as you say, probably your main goals for them are not today, next week, next month. It's in years rather than months.
Right. I think they have the ability to be at the top of the sport right now, but what it really comes down to is experience. And the other thing is a lot of the guys that they're lining up against today are guys that they've watched on TV and that they've idolized. And I think you kind of have to get past that, like where you're a fan to where you realize that you belong. And I think that's part of what being a part of supertri. We were able to put Stolmacher and Vandersum in the supertri championship series last year. And I mean, I've got a picture with Reese lined up side by side with Blumenfeld and Johnny. And it's like, these are the guys that he got excited about when he was first getting into the sport. And now he's racing side by side with them. You can't get experience. Like, you can't put a value on that type of experience. So yeah, we've got 3 of the youngest guys in the field here. And the interesting thing is I think you could see the fastest swim split of the day come from Stolmacher, the fastest bike split of the day come from Middahl, and then the fastest run split come from Vandersum. So we'll see. That's my prediction, but we'll see.
Yeah. And obviously you've got very optimistic or challenging targets, but what springs to mind is that there was a certain Norwegian triathlete who talked post-Tokyo about this was a 10-year project and a 10-year plan and a 10-year investment. So the pathway has been set, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you see like what the Norwegians have done, like, and it's not like Blumenfeld just did that overnight. You look back and he was doing it as a junior 10 years ago. And that's what we want to do too in the U.S. Like, sports science is a big part of what we do, just like it is with them. But it takes patience, and then it also takes a lot of, we've got a significant amount of donors behind what we're doing. So we have the resources now, we have the athletes, now we just have to put all the pieces together.
Well, it's great to hear about Project Podium. Wish you all the best with it. It's great to see the continued development and investment in triathlon wherever it is in the world. The sport continues to grow. So Parker and Project Podium, all the best for the future.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your interest.
No worries. Thank you.
Yep.